first came to the attention of Europeans with the Spanish expedition around the world led by Portuguese explorer Ferdinand Magellan in 1521. Magellan landed on the island of Cebu, claiming the lands for Spain and naming them to Islas de San Lazaro. He set up friendly relations with some of the local chieftains and converted some of them to Catholicism. However, Magellan was killed by natives led by a local chief named Lapu-Lapu, who went up against foreign domination. Over the next several decades, other Spanish expeditions were sent off to the islands. The invasion by the Spaniards did not begin until 1564, when another expedition commanded by Miguel Lopez de Legazpi arrived. Spain ruled the Philippines for 3 centuries. Her cultural legacy was more beneficial and comprehensive than her political and economic endowments. Several aspects in Philippine culture were influenced.
Originated from Asia, being founded by Jesus Christ and Palestine, spread to Western Europe and propagated across the Atlantic to the New World and across the Pacific, the Philippines, from 16th to 17th century. This was the most outstanding achievement of Spanish missionaries who came with the Spanish conquistadores.
During the Spanish era, families were simple and wholesome. The father is the master of the household, while the mother is the first tutor. It was known that broken families were rare. Children kissing their parents' hands is an expression of utmost respect. Filipino women are given elevated position and respected by men, though they have limited freedom for studies, engage in professions, and to mix freely with men. Most of them enter exclusive schools for women, while those who don't have intention to marry enter nunneries, just like the famous character Maria Clara.
The Spaniards introduced new food plants, and the Filipinos started to learn to eat bread, ham, and other European goods, drink coffee and wine. Table manners were observed, where drinking glasses, table knives, and napkins are used.
Men started to wear Western clothes, trousers and hats, slippers and shoes, while women wore saya, kamisa, jewelry, slippers, and stockings.
The economy and livelihood started to flourish when transshipments and galleon trades were opened. Manila became a prosperous city due to the trade. Chinese stood as intermediaries between the Western and the native economies. Agricultural land took on the new importance when production of export crops like sugar and tobacco started.
Education in the Philippines during Spanish era has undergone several stages of development to meet the needs of the society. Pre-colonial times were influenced by economic situation, and education were not institutionalized until the coming of the Spanish missionaries, who used education as a tool in the propagation of religion using the Roman alphabet, replacing baybayin of the natives. Filipinos were among the educated subjects in all of Asia. Universidad de San Ignacio first opened in 1590, followed by University of San Carlos in 1595 and other Catholic schools. Education was inadequate, suppressed and controlled, limited only to the elites, and manifested social inequality and women's subordination.
Arts were used by the Spanish colonizer as a tool to propagate Catholic faith through beautiful images since they arrived in 1521. The images of the Holy Family and saints were introduced through curved statues and wall paintings and sculptures. The Ilustrados in 19th century paved the way for the secularization of the art. From 1821 to 1851, formal art schools were opened, and Spanish masters came as model for art students and propagating European, Greek, and Roman arts. Few of the examples of arts during Spanish era are Langit, Lupa, Impierno by Joseph Dance in 1850, and Vírgenes Cristianas Expuestas al Populacho by Felix Hidalgo in 1884.
Names, alphabets, and languages were influenced by the Spanish era, starting when Governor-General Narciso Claveria issued an order to give Spanish surnames to the Filipino families. There are at least 5,000 Spanish loanwords that enriches the Filipino national language. Filipinos became the only Spanish-speaking nation in Asia.
Our Filipino music are enriched by the Spanish and Mexican influences, just like by using string instruments and windpipes. Filipinos were known to celebrate festivals often. During fiestas, there will be cockfighting, horse races, and lotteries. Every town had its own patron saint whose feast day is celebrated every year. Gambling like cockfighting was introduced and legalized by the Spaniards. Because of the Spain's 3rd century colonization, the country came to be known as the Philippines and the people as the Filipinos. Spain contributed and instilled nationalism among Filipinos by giving them the identity as Filipinos with diversified cultural upbringing that are united as one people from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao.